Motoko programming language. So in this construct of computing power language software, you have different programming languages. Like when you use your iPhone, your Android, all of those apps that you interact with, your finger touching a different side of the screen to do an action. All of these things are made using different programming languages. Like a lot of, like when you, let's say you're on your home screen, you just tap, you wake your phone up, you see the time, the date, whatever widgets you got on there. And let's say someone calls you and you notice how the screen turns to a different layout. You have like your call button there. Like all of these interactions, that is code. It's like, how are you replicating something from the physical? Like if you wanted to do that type of action in the physical world, well, you need a human to do that, to like show you, like flip the sign around or that type of thing. But now, how do we do it digitally? So code is that. The code is the physical, the muscles of the internet. So because right now we're moving to where the internet would be like its own living ecosystem. So code is basically bones, muscles, nerves, cells, all of these things just in digital form. So that's what code is. So let's say, your skin, let's just say that's HTML or CSS. We'll say CSS because humans comes in different shades and colors. So CSS is the programming language for like yellow colors and all this other stuff. So as a human, you can see a disinfectant white container, like, oh, it's white and yellow and it has blue on there, and like these is the colors. But it's like, okay, how do you get that color yellow onto something that you can see on a device in your hand? Like you can't pour paint inside of your phone to make the screen yellow. It's like, okay, how do you do that? Well, let's put this color into code and you do this through some crazy math with the computer, and then boom, you see yellow on your screen. See, everything offline, digital. And we pretty much did everything in the world now digital, except for money and a lot of the logistics and stuff that's still being worked on, because it's a lot. You gotta cover the whole earth, so it's like a lot of things. So that is code. Think of CSS as skin, HTML as your bones. Let's say your muscles is like Python, Rust, Ajax, Node.js. Let's say fingernails and hair, that's like JavaScript, because it's like an action. Say your lungs is Java, all the different things. But all of these different functions, they talk to each other. They're interoperable. You hurt your toe, your brain lets that muscle know, and the brain tells this one, like all of this stuff. It's like a human body almost. Well, imagine taking the best of all worlds and try to put it into another body, like as a blank canvas. But this has to be replicable to humans, but stable. Think of DNA as Motoko programming language. That's the simplest way I can explain it, because it's like with DNA, I'm not the most advanced on this topic, but things have to be stable for that DNA to bond, essentially. If it's like new types of DNA, like if you DNA mixing and whatnot, they have to be compatible and stable. How do you replicate DNA digitally? So that, of course, comes with code, and you got to program it. You got to have the perfect environment. Everything has to be stable. Everything has to be interoperable for each other. So it's like, okay, let's get all of these programming languages and combine them in a way. Then you got a lot of people like, well, it's not really, this language isn't really compatible with this one, but it's compatible with that one. But that one isn't compatible with this one. So you have all of this friction. Here comes Motoko. And just think of Motoko as a recycling compiler factory. With the duck trunks, they come with their trash, all the different items, everything, and they just dump it. And then usually you have to have people separating all of these things, or even AIs. They gotta separate the plastics, the paper, metal. Is it batteries? Is it wood? Like all of this stuff. Imagine if all of that was, you just dumped it, and then the code just separates everything, but they all interconnected with each other. Now this compiler compiled all this trash, and then that trash got separated, and now all of a sudden there's a new house that was made from all of this material. Like, that's Motoko language. So all of this code, Rust, PHP, Solidity, JavaScript, JSS, Motoko will compile all of that to help you create the new apps of tomorrow, of the future. See, Motoko allows anyone to create something with whatever code they like coding in. And Motoko compiles it so that it works on the internet computer. The person doesn't have to learn a new language. Like if you're a Linux person, you love coding in Linux because, let's say, like, I don't know, someone in your family, they was like one of the founders of Linux. So like you want to see this code always getting better, and you like the sophisticated design of it. Like, okay, cool. And then someone's come up with a computer language, and they're like, I don't really like Linux, so I don't want to create nothing with them. But what if you have this new language where you can just still do what you do, I do what I do, but we're still interoperable with each other. Well, we got to talk to each other, but our code interact with each other. That's Motoko. Make things less, you get less errors, less hurdles. It makes everything efficient. Imagine if there was hundreds of ride-sharing companies in your city. Like, you don't want to have to. And this ties in with like internet identity, but internet identity is built on Motoko, so I'm just gonna add it in here. Like, you don't want to have to create an account for every app that you use. Like, that is one of the most annoying things with how Web 2 is structured. Everything is siloed, which makes sense in the part for decentralization and having people not for decentralization, just in case something happens. But like, you gotta share that data, otherwise there's gonna be no improvement in involvement. So with Motoko, all of that is interoperable. You don't have to worry about the security. But yeah, internet identity allows you to connect to any infrastructure on IC. And even if you built something on a different network, Algorand, Bitcoin, etc., you can plug into the IC, and when you plug into the IC will just supercharge your app. And then if you want to remove from the system, you can remove from it. You just lose the benefits of being connected to the internet computer. So it's like, why wouldn't you want to come here? But yeah, for the consumer, like having to log in and create new accounts over and over and over again, they remember all these passwords, and then they're like, hey, remember your password? And he's like, okay, I'm using the same one. And then you get hacked, and then they're like, hey, you got to switch up your passwords. Can't be the same one. It's easy to hack. And it's like, dang, well, shouldn't y'all make it easy not to hack? We're doing everything we can. So a part of this accountability on YouTube. So like this whole friction, imagine you don't got to worry about none of that. Super easy because everything's connected. You want to get an Uber, IC login, boom. You see all your money, ID verification, background check, all of that automated. Same for applying for a job, going to a concert, in another country trying to purchase something that's 21 plus or older, but you don't know the language to prove like, hey, I'm of age. It don't matter. You just scan, boom, it gives you all the information without them even seeing your private information. Like, what if you are 22, but you're from this country? They don't need to know that. They can just scan, boop, boop, doop, done. Like the parameters is set where this vendor using this software can't look into these private files of the consumer. But just know that even though they're private, you can trust the information is correct because it's built on IC. It's built on blockchain. It's verified already. All right, cool. I'll allow them to come in and spend money in my country. No problem. So you get this very liquid, concentrated ecosystem, and where all of that liquidity goes, it goes towards benefiting the system. Like, imagine if everything we did in our human life was to benefit the system, and that's by benefiting the system, it benefits everyone. The system grows and we grow as well. So it's like, that is my overall thoughts on blockchain and ICP. Sorry, I'm finna drink some of this kombucha. And if you want to have a visual audio of what kind of kombucha I'm drinking the Health Aid kombucha. And it's the passion fruit and tangerine one. I heard some people say kombucha isn't good for you. You know, so-called gurus. Then you have some that say it is good for you because of these benefits. It's just so much data you have to look. See, if this was on IC, I already know if it's beneficial to me or not. The AI can tell me, and I can just go ahead and drink it. Imagine if we do go to new worlds like Mars and Jupiter, or even some other planet. Imagine you get on that planet and you see some type of fruit, and you're just like, I don't know if it's poison or not. The AI can just scan it, and it'll show you what properties are in that fruit, which part of that fruit that you can eat, or if it's even edible at all. Like, look into the future like that. How many risks is eliminating? Okay, it's like, look, if it is poison, we gotta know, because if this is the last, let's say it's the last human or something along those lines. That's the last human, where it needs to know if things are safe or not to continue its survival. That's some good kombucha, man. So, yeah, that's where I see is going. And as I said in my other video. I think this is the type of freestyle thought that I would like to do or making these videos. But of course, when it's someone else is on the other end of this, let's say if I have other internet computer influencers on, or some developers, hopefully Dominic one day, it'll be still free thought, but it'll be more structured to like sticking to like certain topics to keep everything in order. Because I know everyone has their different ways, but you know me, I'm very flexible in the way I do things. I look at being flexible as a challenge, like being able to juggle and keep all of these things interconnected. So yeah, I can adapt to what the audience need. And that is all. And I hope y'all have enjoyed the channel so far. I like keeping it minimalistic. And I think without having our faces on the videos, it allows you to concentrate on other things. Let's say you're doing homework or you're cooking dinner, you still can listen while you're doing this. I think that's the direction I want to go for the channel. It's almost like I'm in a room there with you when you're having a conversation. That is the type of environment that I want. And it just makes it more... I'll come up with a word. You can leave a comment down below for how this type of direction. You can come up with the word below. You just leave it in the comments below if you can think of something, of a type of feeling that this direction would be. It's lots of words that you can choose, but none of them really fit how I want it. So I'm trying to think of a word, but can't think of it at the moment. But I want to cut the video short. So tune in next time to the House of Canister, and let's talk about ICP.